Chemical truck crash. This is a live look in Chatham County this morning where a truck carrying ammonium nitrate overturned. What we know from our team on the ground.
And it's a cold start for us. Lots of sunshine, but our temperatures are in the 20s right now. I'll show you when we'll climb above freezing.
And clearing the way, high-rise towers could be coming to North Hills. The vote to move forward today and how you can have a say. WRAL News at 8 starts in less than 30 seconds.
At Leith Honda in Raleigh and Auto Park Honda in Cary, we make your buying process easy. And with every new car purchase, you'll enjoy complimentary oil changes and exceptional service. It's no wonder we've earned so many 5-star reviews. You'll also get peace of mind pricing with every used vehicle, and if it's not the perfect fit, no problem. Bring it back within 3 days for an easy exchange. Visit our showroom at Auto Park Honda in Cary or Leith Honda in Raleigh. It's easier here.
Live from WRAL News headquarters in Raleigh, your number one source for local news. WRAL News, coverage you can count on.
All right, the time is 8 a.m. here on your Tuesday morning on Fox 50. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Laura Levine.
And I'm Ken Smith. Yeah, we got this beautiful sunrise,
Yes.
but man, is it cold outside. Let's get back to meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner in the WRAL Severe Weather Center, tracking it all for us.
It's pretty right here at North Hills. Lots of sunshine, but it is cold out there, 26 degrees. Fortunately, we have very little wind. We've had winds up to maybe 3 miles per hour. You'd be surprised at how much that drops the temperature. So it does feel like 19 in Fayetteville, where it is 25. It's 21 in Southern Pines, 21 in Roxborough, 24 in Rocky Mount and Wilson, 24 in Goldsboro. So everybody's seeing temperatures either in the upper teens to mid 20s right now. So it'll be a slow warm up. We don't hit freezing until about 11 o'clock this morning, and our high this afternoon about 10 degrees below normal at 42. But we will see plenty of sunshine. The Arctic air stays in place, so we're going to wake up to the same thing tomorrow morning. It'll be nice and sunny, but very, very cold. Then we get a little bit of a break back to near normal, but over the weekend, we're going to get a push of air straight out of the Arctic, and that could set us up for a significant winter storm. We're going to talk more about what we know and why we don't have numbers to share with you just yet. Coming up, Ken.
Happening now, the WRAL traffic sent some good news to report. Congestion is beginning to ease quite a bit on I-87 in those southbound lanes coming toward us this morning. There was a crash right near the I-540 interchange. We're still seeing some lingering delays almost all the way back to Nightdale Boulevard. So if you're getting ready to leave the house right now and you're in a rush, I-87 part of your commute, I would take Nightdale Boulevard or Business 64 as part of your commute this morning, because we're seeing some real jam sessions on some of our major roads, especially coming in from I-40 eastbound this morning from Chapel Hill, looking at an 8-minute delay. 10 minutes for our friends in Wake Forest coming on US 1 south. On US 1 north, things are beginning to really get picked up, and you're looking at a 5-minute delay. That's really nothing that's going to make you late. We do have a crash on I-40 westbound right around the Aviation Parkway exit there. And that's why you see how heavily congested it is heading into the westbound lane. So listen, depending on where you're headed this morning, you might want to take Highway 70 as an alternate route to Durham this morning. So right now you're looking at a 9-minute delay if you're coming in from Wake Forest to get to Durham. Just a 6-minute delay on I-40 westbound out of Wade Avenue. As jammed up as that look, 6 minutes, not bad, but it looks a little more jammed up than that. But you're getting ready to head into the car, though. Tune us in on the radio. We'll keep you updated as you make your commute to your destinations this morning.
And if you are tuned in on the radio, let me just kind of describe to you what we're seeing right now here in the WRAL Live Center. A tractor trailer overturned this morning in Siler City. In fact, a WRAL viewer shared a photo of that truck flipped on its side this morning. But you're seeing this video from Sky 5 here, where you'll see that this truck, according to State Highway Patrol, was carrying ammonium nitrate, which, if you're not familiar, that's a compound that's often used in fertilizer. Now, troopers are saying that no one was injured in this, and this specifically is on Snow Camp Road near Clutchfield Crossroads. We're trying to get more specifics in terms of what led up to this crash, what potential environmental impact there could be from this, but early reports are indicating that's not quite the case from the investigators we've spoken with. Stay with WRAL News, and we'll update you on more on that crash that happened in Siler City.
Okay, Chris, thank you. And right now, State Highway Patrol is searching for a driver who hit and killed a person on I-85 north in Butner. State Highway Patrol says the crash happened at around 2 a.m. A trooper on the scene said authorities were investigating the possible driver miles away from that scene around 3 a.m. The name of the person who died has not been released. The interstate has since reopened. Happening today, Raleigh City Council is expected to vote on a zoning request that would clear the way for giant towers at North Hills. Kane Realty wants to build 4 towers around Six Forks and Lassiter Mill roads here. WRAL's Ali Catlabar is following this story this morning. And Ali, we know that this proposal has been facing a whole lot of pushback for some people who live nearby.
And Laura, the agenda says that there's no more time for the public to speak. And so a group called Livable Raleigh says they're going to be walking in to the meeting wearing red, showing they want the council to put a stop to this zoning request. And here's an idea of what this zoning request looks like. Kane Realty wants to build 4 towers around Six Forks and Lassiter Mill roads. Those buildings could be as high as 37 stories, which would make them the tallest in the city. Now, City Council was expected to vote on the idea earlier this month, but they delayed the vote to allow Kane Realty to consider revised conditions. The Planning Commission recommended approval 7-1 last week. Nearby residents tell us they are against the plan. They say it could cause traffic congestion and environmental impacts.
Growth is certainly welcome as people try to live in a suburban environment that's easily accessible to downtown. But the problem with that is that those expansions of North Hills have got to be within the planning that's been established for at least over 10 years.
Now, the City Council meeting is scheduled for 1 today. This afternoon, WRAL will be following the outcome. Reporting live in Raleigh, Ali Catlabar, WRAL News.
And happening today, a group of Buddhist monks will be making their way through Greensboro as they head toward Raleigh. Eventually, they'll end up in Washington, D.C. Well, last night, the monks addressed a crowd of people in Greensboro before stopping to rest for the night. Today, they will be heading toward Climax, North Carolina. They're expected to be in Raleigh in just a matter of days. People we spoke with in the Triangle say they're excited to hear the monks' message of peace.
They really are strong. They are strong-willed of doing what they believe in, which is peace.
You know, there's a lot of hatred and things going on right now, and to show something that is peaceful, it's a good thing to see.
A spokesperson for the Walk for Peace says the monks are expected to reach the Triangle sometime this weekend. And for where they'll be walking, organizers say those details will be released very soon. Well, WRAL will keep you informed of their route, arrival times, and any public events. Keep up to date right here on WRAL News and our digital platforms.
And now to the story we have been following since the very beginning. An Orange County double murder trial will resume in Hillsborough. Isaiah Ross is accused of killing 14-year-old Lyric Woods and 18-year-old Devin Clark in 2022. The court recessed on Friday without testimony after one of the attorneys had a family emergency. The judge told the jury they had already expected this case to extend into this week. Now, when court resumes, the prosecution will continue making their case. Several witnesses have already taken the stand, including the medical examiner and the victim's parents. The medical examiner says Woods had 7 gunshot wounds and Clark had 6. The defense will still get a chance to call all of their witnesses to make their case too.
The 3 men charged in a weekend shooting on Glenwood South are expected to be in court today. This is just the latest crime to hit that social district in recent months. The most recent shooting happened early Sunday morning, and an uninvolved bystander was sent to the hospital after being hit by a stray bullet. The Glenwood South district can see thousands of people on any given weekend. Over the last few years, Raleigh police have taken steps to step up security. That includes putting up barricades during peak hours, increasing the police presence in the area as well. We spoke with a man who works at one of the businesses in the Glenwood South District. He says safety concerns have increased as the population has grown.
It's affected the way that we exist as a community. In fact, people have left and people are leaving because they don't feel safe in the area.
Well, 3 men were charged in this recent shooting. Stephen Bryant, Keshawn Bryant, and Jaden Drawn are all accused of inciting a riot. Stephen Bryant is also being charged with assault with a deadly weapon and discharging a firearm within city limits.
Today marks 1 year since President Trump was sworn in for his second term, and he's recently celebrated some victories for his administration, including mortgage rates falling below 6%. However, others are focusing on his increasingly strict immigration enforcement. Protests are happening across the country today because of this, including here in the Triangle. In fact, there will be a protest happening today in Moore Square. People will gather to protest the Trump administration, and that includes recent ICE operations in Minnesota. There There have been several protests in the Triangle recently because of the death of Renee Nicole Good. An ICE agent shot and killed her in Minneapolis this month. Today's demonstration is expected to begin around 5 p.m.
Enrollment caps at 5 Wake County schools could be lifted. That would make new opportunities for new families. The school board is expected to vote on lifting the caps today. Right now, the caps are meant to prevent families new to the area from enrolling with the goal to prevent overcrowding. But the board is also expected to decide on a new cap in the fast-growing East Wake area as well. Learn more about this topic in the education section of WRAL.com. And more schools could end up being closed on primary election day in Wake County. School is already canceled for most schools on March 3rd, but not for some year-round schools. The school board is expected to vote tonight to include them on that list. This is designed to keep students out of the classrooms and schools because the buildings are used as polling sites.
Your time now is 8:10. Tensions escalating. President Trump is pushing for the U.S. to acquire Greenland, but European leaders do not appear to be on board. The latest measures America and other countries are now taking.
Contract over. The mayor of Cary ending a consulting gig as the town is under scrutiny over its spending, while the mayor says he's quitting that role.
And if your morning routine includes a run, look here at 9 o'clock, it's still going to be 31 degrees. And at lunchtime, 39. So you may want to take that workout inside. I'll let you know how many more mornings will look like that coming up. 8:14, taking a live look at Apex. Looks pretty out there and starting to get pretty busy here on Salem Street. Not a lot of people out walking for fun with these very cold temperatures. 26 in Durham, 25 in Fayetteville, 26 in Garner, and 23 right now in Cary. So heading out the door definitely feels cold, anywhere from the upper teens to mid-20s. So you'll see heavy coats out there, even some hats and gloves, and keep the sunglasses handy because it'll stay nice and sunny all day. It stays chilly this afternoon with a high of only 42 degrees. Coming up, meteorologist Chris Michaels is going to talk more about a little bit of snow that we saw last weekend and how it could be different than what we see this weekend. Ken?
All right, happening now in the WRAL traffic center, some heavy congestion on I-40 westbound. As you're looking at I-40 and Wade Avenue, a couple of incidents are happening. There's a crash right there just beyond the Aviation Parkway exit. There's also this stalled vehicle not far from the Cary Harrison exit. So if you're heading west to Durham this morning, you might want to use Highway 70 as an alternate route because right now you're looking at a 23-minute delay if you're heading west this morning. I'll have a look at some other delay times coming up in less than 5 minutes.
Ken, thank you. We are following new developments in Greenland this morning. Another group of Danish troops arrived in the country for exercises with NATO allies. The Danish diplomats say the United States was made aware of their arrival ahead of time. This comes as tensions rise between the U.S. and Denmark. President Trump is now threatening a 10% tariff on several European allies as he pushes to acquire Greenland. The president says the U.S. needs Greenland to counter Russia and Russian and Chinese operations in the Arctic.
I don't think they're going to push back too much. Look, we have to have it. They have to have this done. They can't protect it. Denmark, they're wonderful people. And I know the leaders, they're very good people, but they don't even go there. And, you know, because the boat went there 500 years ago and then left, that doesn't give you title to property.
These comments come hours after it was revealed that he told Norway's prime minister that he was no longer obligated to, quote, think purely of peace after not being awarded the Nobel Peace Prize. In response to the news, the president says he doesn't care about the Nobel Peace Prize. Well, Cary Mayor Harold Weinbrett says that he's ending his contract with a consulting firm. He worked as a consultant for Withers Ravenel. The firm worked with the town over the years. His role was scrutinized recently because of an investigation into the town's finances. Weinbrett says that he's never violated policies, but he's ending his work with the firm to avoid negative attention being directed at the company. As for this investigation, the SBI is looking into it.
Well, this past weekend brought more snow in parts of Florida and Georgia than in our area. So we were asked, How does that happen? Let's get to meteorologist Chris Michaels with answers, showing us why this coming weekend is a different situation.
Yeah, this coming weekend looks a lot different, right? So this is what it looked like in the Florida Panhandle on Sunday morning, this courtesy of the Florida Department of Transportation. This was near Macon, Georgia, where they actually collected about 1.5 inches of snow. And there you see that narrow swath that fell over parts of the Florida Panhandle, Georgia, and even southeastern Alabama. And it's more than what we've seen in parts of the area so far this entire winter. So here's what happened this past weekend. High pressure, our cold air source, was centered over Texas. So the air that was trying to come around it was being blocked by the Appalachian Mountains, or at least delayed by the Appalachian Mountains, whereas that was not necessarily the case the farther south you went. So that's why they had more snow than we did. However, this coming weekend, your cold source coming from the north, from the Arctic. So you have more cold air in place while a strong storm system rides along the Gulf Coast. So that's why it's likely that we see potentially a significant winter storm heading into the upcoming weekend. Elizabeth Gardner is going to talk about where we stand right now and when we expect to know more, coming up in about 2 minutes.
Okay, Chris, thank you. Heads up now for drivers in Orange County. This morning, teams will be closing an exit ramp on I-85 for maintenance work. The southbound ramp at exit 163 will be closed until Thursday morning. This is the ramp that takes you to I-40 East. Now, if you are using this route, DOT is asking drivers to get off on exit 161 and take US 70 before getting back on I-40. Today, you can learn more about Raleigh Water's new self-service portal. It's hosting office hours for people today at 5 Points Center for active adults. That's happening from 11 to 1. Additional informational events are planned next month.
Happening today, the American Red Cross teaming up with the Chatham Community County Library in Pittsburgh to host a blood donation drive. The Red Cross says the drive is meant to address a recent shortage in blood. Today's event will be at the Holmes Family Meeting Room at the library starting around 10 o'clock this morning and run until 3 this afternoon. NBA action on WRAL tonight. It's a Texas team showdown. Spurs versus Rockets in Houston. Tip-off is at 8 p.m. tonight. And some college hoops action tonight as well. NC State will be on the road to play number 18 ranked Clemson Tigers. Tip-off for that game is at 7 o'clock tonight.
Well, happening now here in the WRAL Severe Weather Center with Elizabeth. We are starting the day with some really chilly temperatures, and this is just a little tease of what we can expect in the coming days as well.
It is going to be really cold again tomorrow. So, you know, whatever you're wearing today, you know, if you're comfortable, you know, wear it again tomorrow. And if not, pile on a little bit. This high pressure system is helping to bring us some really chilly air, and it sticks with us for a day or so. Then we're going to be watching another system that's back to the west, and we're going to talk more about that in a few minutes. You can see this cold front sliding offshore. That helped to bring some snow to parts of the Northeast. Excuse me. Let's take a look at some of the video that we have out of Massachusetts. This is actually up near Boston, and you can see the sledders. This is from yesterday. They had 6 inches of snow out of the same system where we saw just a few flurries out there. But they had some sunshine yesterday afternoon, and of course, the kids were out of school because it was MLK Day. So they were enjoying that there on the Boston Common. All right, maybe we'll see some sledding, but boy, we could see a really severe winter mix of the system. We're going to talk about it. Right now, it is over the Pacific. And here's what happens. When storm systems are over land here over the United States, we have a huge network of observation sites taking in a lot of data about what's happening with the weather. So this storm is sitting over the Pacific where no one lives, and it's the ocean. So there are no observation sites, or very few of them. Once it moves over land, we're going to start to collect a lot of data, which will go into the computer models, making our forecast much more accurate than it would be if we tried to start putting some timing and some numbers on what kind of precipitation and how much we could see. So measurable snow, ice that could produce an ice storm that could produce some wind damage, some power outages are all possible with this system. The difference, as Chris was saying, is this one's going to have a better tap of Arctic air. So it's going to be cold enough, unlike what we saw last weekend. The track takes it down here along the Gulf of Mexico, where it's nice and warm and it's able to collect even more rain or precipitation than it would if it was happening off the Atlantic. So we're going to see the cold front come through Thursday into Friday, a little bit of rain to start with, and then we're going to see the colder air arriving as the low moves southward and helps to push a lot of precipitation over us. You may have seen some wild numbers show up on your phone. I had a friend of mine text me yesterday and show me her screenshot of a foot of snow. And while we could have some significant snow, we also will have potentially, again, some significant icing, some sleet, and all of that. So for the most accurate forecast, check out our WRAL weather app. It's a forecast coming from us, not just from a computer model. We'll have videos to explain it, as well as text and graphics to kind of walk you through what we're going to see. What can you do now to prepare early? Again, pick a reliable source like WRAL for your information. Consider your weekend plans and how you could change those up if necessary, and prepare for power outages, however you might do that at your house. It's going to be very cold with this system, and the cold air is likely to last well into next week. Ken?
Well, that's what's happening now in the WRAL Traffic Center. Some heavy congestion on I-40 westbound starting around Wade Avenue. A couple of incidents, including this stalled vehicle right there near the Carey Harrison exit. There's also a crash not far from the Aviation Parkway exit there on I-40 westbound. So here's what you're looking at. You're looking at almost about a 30-minute delay right now if you're going on I-40 westbound. So I would recommend, if you're heading to Durham this morning, take Highway 70 as an alternate route, because right now you're looking at almost a half-hour delay. That southern loop of the Beltline looks a little congested as well, but that's the type of thing that we see this time of the morning. I'll have another update coming up in the bottom of the hour.
Ken, thank you. Undelivered memories. Dozens of brides tell WRAL they are out thousands of dollars because of one photography company. How 5 on Your Side is helping out, and a mother and daughter in court, both charged in connection to a deadly DWI crash. The new details we're learning from court documents.
As you get into your car, tune to WRAL News Plus on your radio. In Raleigh on 99.3 FM. In Durham, 96.5 FM. And everywhere on 101.5 HD3.
Good morning. The time is 8:26. I'm Laura Levine. We do have a traffic alert to tell you about. Ken Smith is keeping an eye on the roads. Ken.
Yeah, Laura, you got some heavy congestion on I-40 westbound right around Wade Avenue. There's a couple of things happening. There's this crash on I-40 westbound right near the Aviation Parkway exit. Also, there's that stalled vehicle not far from the Carey Harrison exit as well. So a lot going on I-40 westbound. Right now, you're looking at a 32-minute delay coming in from if you're heading west in Durham this morning. So I would recommend using Highway 70 as an alternate route. In terms of other routes heading into Durham, you're looking at a 4-minute delay out of Chapel Hill, and just a 1-minute delay if you're using I-85 to get from Hillsborough.
And it's cold out there, too. Lots of sunshine, 26 in Durham and in Raleigh, and 25 in Fayetteville. If you're wondering, that's the fountain that's right here in front of WRAL. Today, at a glance, we're looking at plenty of sunshine, but it will be colder. We'll see a high 42, which is about 10 degrees below normal. Laura?
Crews are working to clean up after a truck carrying chemicals overturned in Chatham County. There's a look at some of that Sky 5 footage and scene footage there from Siler City Snow Camp Road. Highway Patrol says the truck was carrying ammonium nitrate. And Raleigh City Council is expected to vote today on a zoning request that would clear the way for giant towers at North Hills. Kane Realty wants to build 4 towers around Six Forks and Lassiter Mill roads. Those buildings could be as high as 37 stories. And next on Fox 50, testimony in the Isaiah Ross double murder trial resumes. And today, coming up on Today, surprising new trends in home decor for 2026.
Now, breaking news from WRAL. Coverage you can count on.
That breaking news takes us to the heavy congestion on I-40 westbound down around Wade Avenue. We're going to tell you how to get around this major backup.
And a chemical truck crash. Crews in Chatham County working to clean up where a truck carrying ammonium nitrate overturned. What we know from our team there on the ground right now.
And it's a cold start out there, a little bit of a wind chill. It feels like 19 in Fayetteville right now. I'll show you how long this very cold air stays with us.
And clearing the way, North Hills could soon be home to the tallest high-rises in the city. The vote to move forward happening today, and how you can have a say. A lot of news to get to here at 8:30 a.m. Thanks for staying with us. I'm Laura Levine.
And I'm Ken Smith, not the least of which is how cold it is outside. Yes. Let's go ahead and get back to meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner in the WRAL Severe Weather Center. Beautiful day, though.
It looks gorgeous, doesn't it? This is a live look at RDU, which is always fun to take on a day like this. You can just see so much of the sky, and it is just clear and pretty, but it's also cold. 26 degrees right now at RDU and in most of the Triangle. Our winds are calm. We've had a little bit of a wind chill on and off, but not much. Fayetteville seeing a wind chill. It feels like 19. Other than that, it feels like 24 in South Hill. It feels like 21 in Roxborough. It is 21 in Southern Pines right now. So grab those big puffy coats if you have one. Our temperature this afternoon in the low 40s, which of course keeps us about 10 degrees below normal for this time of year. The Arctic air sticks around through tomorrow. We'll see our temperatures in the teens and low 20s again for tomorrow morning. And then we're looking ahead to what could happen over the weekend. We have the potential for a significant winter storm. The impacts of this could be something that stick with us for quite some time with the cold temperatures. We could see measurable snow. We could have enough ice to have widespread power outages. We could have some sleet along with this. We're watching this system as it crosses the country. And of course, the computer models will start to pick up more data as it moves onshore. It's still 3,000 miles away. But coming up, I'll talk about some things that you could do now to start prepping.
What is happening now in the WRAL Traffic Center? Get to the breaking news. That heavy congestion on I-40 westbound as we look live at the camera at I-40 and Wade Avenue. Got a couple of things happening. This stalled vehicle not far from the Cary Harrison exit. We also have a crash as first responders working on not far from the Aviation Parkway exit there on I-40 westbound. So right now you're looking at an almost 40-minute delay if you're heading west this morning on I-40. I would recommend using Highway 70 definitely as an alternate route. Back here closer to Raleigh in I-40 Lake Wheeler Road, that southern loop of the Beltline, boy, things have really cleared up quite a bit, flowing at a nice steady clip in both directions. So as far as coming into the Raleigh-Wade County area, so I talked about I-40 eastbound. Right now you're looking at a 15-minute delay if you're coming in from Durham this morning, and that's the delay that we're seeing right there on those westbound lanes. So keep that in mind. Highway 70, definitely your best bet to get to Durham this morning. Just a 2-minute delay if you're coming in from Nightdale. Things have definitely gotten better on I-87 in those southbound lanes. And for Finns and Wake Forest, you're looking at a 6-minute delay on US 1 South. You're getting ready to head into the car, though. Tune us in on the radio, 101.5 HD3.
Okay, Ken, thank you. Now to that breaking news this morning. Crews are working to clean up after a large truck overturned this morning in Chatham County. So here's where it happened in the northwest part of the county near Siler City Snow Camp Road and Silk Hope Liberty Road. And that's where we find Kelsey Coffey, who just arrived there at the scene in the WRAL Breaking News Tracker. And Kelsey, we know that this vehicle was carrying several chemicals on board.
Yes, Laura, I just spoke with people from emergency management in Chatham County here at the scene. So we'll go ahead and give you a live look now at what crews are working on there, that overturned truck. We're told that this was a 3-axle truck carrying several chemicals, including ammonium nitrate. As far as injuries are concerned, we're hearing that that driver was transported to the hospital. We're working to find out the extent of their injuries. Now, this all happened around 6:13 this morning near Siler City Snow Camp Road and Wren Culberson Road. So right now we're working to find out the extent of the traffic impact for the day. It looks like there's a little bit of movement here where it looks like they can get this vehicle back right side up. So we'll be sure to keep you updated on what we find out. You also saw some of that video there from Sky 5 showing you an aerial view of what we're seeing here on the ground. We're working to find out what exactly caused this crash. So we'll be sure to keep you updated. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, live in Chatham County.
Well, today, Raleigh City Council may vote on a plan that will clear the way for tall towers at North Hills, where you're looking live right now. That's what the skyline looks like currently. Kane Realty wants to develop in the area Six Forks and Lassiter Mills Road. You can see it right here on this map. WRAL's Ali Cadlebar is live in Raleigh this morning. Ali, some people who live nearby are pushing back against this plan.
And Ken, the agenda says that there's no more time for the public to speak on this topic. So a group called Livable Raleigh plans to wear red walking into the meeting today, showing that they want the council to put a stop to this zoning request. And here's an idea of what the zoning request looks like. Kane Realty wants to build 4 towers around Six Forks and Lassiter Mill roads. Those buildings could be as high as 37 stories, which would make them the tallest in the city. Now, City Council was expected to vote on the idea earlier this month, but delayed the vote to allow Kane Realty to consider revised conditions. The Planning Commission recommended approval 7-1 last week. And nearby residents tell us they're against the plan. They say it could cause traffic congestion and environmental impacts.
They currently have the right to build up to 12 stories and up to 5 stories. But asking for something that is at least twice that of the area plan, the comprehensive plan, is just an unbearable consequence of expansion.
The City Council meeting where they could vote on this topic is scheduled for 1 this afternoon. WRAL will be following the outcome. Reporting live in Raleigh, Ali Kadlabar, WRAL News.
Also happening today, an Orange County murder trial will resume in Hillsborough. Isaiah Ross is accused of killing 14-year-old Lyric Woods and 18-year-old Devin Clark back in 2022. The court recessed Friday without testimony after one of the attorneys had a family emergency. The judge told the jury they had already expected this case to extend into this week. When court resumes, the prosecution will continue making their case. Several witnesses have already taken the stand, including the medical examiner and the victim's parents. The medical examiner says Woods had 7 gunshot wounds and Clark had 6. The defense will still get a chance to call all of their own witnesses to make their case as well.
Today, 3 men charged with getting into a fight that led to a bystander being shot here on Glenwood South are expected in court. Stephen Bryant and Keyshawn Bryant and Jaden Drawn are charged with inciting a riot. Raleigh police say the bystander who was shot is expected to survive. The 3 suspects are expected in court at 1:30 p.m. today. As for Glenwood South, for the past 2 years, Raleigh police have stepped up patrolling in that area.
Well, this morning we're working to learn more about a large law enforcement presence in Clinton. This is video of the scene on William Street from the WRAL breaking news tracker around 8:30 last night. Officers had a large portion of the road blocked off with crime scene tape as they investigated. We reached out to Clinton police to find out what led up to this incident. So far we have not heard back. The Wake County School Board is set to talk about tight finances today. The school system told board members in December budget cuts is certainly next year. A drop in enrollment and rising costs is a big reason for the cost cutting. WRAL education insider Emily Walkenhorst says inflation is also hitting schools as well.
They're trying to pay employees more to keep up with the cost of living, to make sure that they can retain those employees. There's also the cost of supplies, materials. The cost of building a school, for example, has multiplied just in the past 10 or 15 years. So these are expenses that the district has to keep up with, despite, maybe their enrollment not increasing all that much.
The superintendent plans to propose a budget for next year later this spring. Today's meeting starts at 2 o'clock this afternoon. You can follow our coverage of the Wake County Schools budget in the education section of WRAL.com.
Happening tonight, protesters are expected to gather for a rally against the Trump administration in downtown Raleigh. This rally starts at 5 p.m. at Moore Square. Organizers say they are protesting 1 year of President Donald Trump being in office for his second term. They're also calling for a general strike today, meaning no work, no school, and a refusal to participate in the economy. Neighborhood patrols are forming in Minnesota as ICE operations continue in the state. Members coordinate through encrypted messaging apps, sharing live updates when immigration agents are seen nearby, alerting residents in real time. President Trump has threatened to invoke the Insurrection Act, and the Pentagon has told 1,500 soldiers to be ready in case of a possible deployment to the state. Volunteers say they are stepping up to protect one another, and their presence is intended to reduce tensions and ensure accountability.
A group of Buddhist monks just days away from the Triangle. Their journey from Texas to D.C. has drawn huge crowds for weeks and has millions of people watching online. Well, last night the monks addressed a crowd of people in Greensboro before stopping to rest for the night. Today they'll be heading toward Pleasant Garden and Climax, North Carolina. Here's a map of where they plan to stop today. The monks are expected to reach Raleigh sometime this weekend. As for exactly where they'll be walking, organizers say those details will be released soon. Of course, count on WRAL to keep you informed of the monk's route, arrival times, and any public events. Keep up to date here on WRAL News and on all our digital platforms.
Today, the Supreme Court is expected to hear arguments over President Trump's attempt to fire Federal Reserve Governor Lisa Cook. Trump tried to fire Cook last summer after she was accused of mortgage fraud. The justices temporarily allowed her to stay on the job while they considered the case. Cook denies the allegations. She also warned a ruling in favor of Trump's interference would negatively impact the Fed's independence and the stability of the markets.
The Indiana Hoosiers are national champions in college football. Heisman-winning quarterback Fernando Mendoza, the Hoosiers, finished off their season with a 27-21 win over Miami in last night's college football playoff championship game. With the win, the Hoosiers ended the season with a perfect 16-0 record. This is the first time Indiana has ever won a national championship in college basketball.
And now let's tell the story of the aftermath in photos, Ken. These are photos right here from a student paper over there at that university. See this child right here, very anxiously awaiting to see how the game will turn out. And we know how that happened, right? All the students very hyped on Indiana's success, 16-0. They're undefeated during the season. And there are more people that are in these photos, crowds of people shutting down the street there. At one point, they set a couch on fire, these students, but don't worry, it was extinguished not too long after that. So the question is, will our local teams be able to manifest this kind of success next season? It's possible, but for right now, let's let the Hoosiers enjoy their victory.
All right, Chris, thank you. Bummed out brides, how 5 on your side stepped in after women say they paid for wedding photos and never got them.
Heading to break, it's cold and dry outside at the bus stop this morning. This is a live look at temperatures all across the area. This could set the tone for something bigger. Ahead meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner has an update on the likelihood of winter weather this coming weekend.
.45, we've seen so much sunshine across the area today, but it is no match for the cold air that's in place right now. And so the cold air is going to win. 28 in Roxborough right now. It's 25 in Fayetteville and 23 in Holly Springs, 26 in Garner, 23 in Cary. So much cold air in place. It's going to take a lot to really warm us up. So temperatures this morning right now mainly in the low to mid 20s. So heavy coats heading out the door, hats, gloves, sunglasses too. We're going to see plenty of sunshine. And maybe you want to move that workout inside. We're not going to reach temperatures above freezing until close to 10 o'clock this morning, and our highs this afternoon 10 degrees below normal at around 42. Coming up in a few minutes, we're going to walk through what we're looking at potentially for a strong winter storm over the weekend. Ken?
Elizabeth, some good news to report. Even though this looks heavily congested still on I-40 westbound, starting around Wade Avenue, traffic is beginning to ease just a little bit because about a half hour ago, traffic was at a standstill there on I-40 westbound. So right now you're looking at an 18-minute delay. About a half hour ago, you were looking at more than a 30-minute delay. So keep that in mind. If you're in a rush this morning, I would still recommend using Highway 70 as an alternate route to get over to Durham.
Ken, thank you. Happening today, Wake County leaders will meet to talk about affordable housing and expanding the Marbles Kids Museum. Commissioners are expected to discuss the museum expansion project contract. Last year, the funding for the project was in limbo, but the award could be approved today. If the board moves forward, the construction is expected to begin in February and could take around 10 months. Commissioners will also discuss additional funding for affordable housing in the Biltmore Hills community in Raleigh. Today's meeting starts at 2 this afternoon.
I'll tell you, a rare sight in an NHL game last night.
And a sweet moment after the college football national championship game. Here's a look at what's trending. Heisman winner Fernando Mendoza seen celebrating with his family after winning the national championship. You can see him going to give his mom a hug. So sweet. He was previously said that his mom is his biggest fan and his inspiration. My heart.
Yeah, and you can see her in the wheelchair there. She's coping with multiple sclerosis, and the whole family has really rallied around her. And it was just a beautiful moment last night. And he's likely to be the #1 pick in the NFL draft in April.
Yes, and you know what? She's a proud mama, but he's a proud son as well, because he continues to share his mom's story every chance he gets.
100%. Well, this almost never happens, right? But it happened last night in the Florida Panthers San Jose Sharks game last night. The team's goalies got into a fight. What? The two started trading punches with 14 minutes left in the game. And, of course, you see the NHL crowd getting into it, cheering on that fight. Now, both of these guys were sent to the penalty box but did not leave the game. The Sharks eventually won that game, by the way, 4-1.
Okay, listen to this story, especially if you are a new bride like myself. More than 50 North Carolina brides are banding together after they say they are now out thousands by a local photographer. 5 on Your Side's Kelly Arthur spoke with more than a dozen disgruntled brides about their experience.
A wedding is stressful and expensive enough without having to deal with what some of these brides are claiming. And now they're turning to 5 on Your Side for help. I was on a Zoom call with about 20 of them who say they paid Holly Christina Photography thousands of dollars, oftentimes upfront and in full. The brides I spoke with fall into two camps. Either their wedding is coming up and they haven't heard from the company, or they had their weddings and haven't received any of the photos.
I just can't help but worry that I'm never going to get anything. And at this point, I just want the raw images and the raw video and to figure it out myself so those memories aren't gone.
Now, if you watch 5 on Your Side often, you know I tell you to never pay up front. But these brides tell me they did so because they were told if they paid up front, they would receive a percentage off the total price. Coming up tonight on WRAL News, I am going to tell you what questions we posed to the company, plus how we've been able to help at least one couple. Keely Arthur, 5 on Your Side.
And we did get an update on this story this morning. Following 5 on Your Side's initial reporting on this topic, Holly Christina Photography released a statement saying that the owner was dealing with a health crisis and would reach out to customers directly. You can read our full statement on WRAL.com.
Of course, we're here in the WRAL Weather Center with meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner taking a look at Fenton this morning, the skating rink there. It's cold enough for skating.
Yeah, they don't need any extra refrigeration for the skating rink for today, that is for sure. And, it's going to be a great time today, tomorrow, really all the way, through maybe Thursday to get outside and do some skating. And then after that, we're in for could be an interesting ride over the weekend and into next week. Right now, it is 26 degrees. We do climb above freezing right around the time we get to 10 a.m. and then we'll climb into the low 40s for this afternoon. Had a little bit of a breeze earlier this morning, but the wind is fairly calm right now. It's 21 in Southern Pines. We are seeing a wind chill in Fayetteville. It feels like 19 out there, but it's 24 in Rocky Mount. It feels like 26 in South Hill. It feels like 22 in Roxborough. So we're feeling like 20s as you're heading out the door. The Arctic air stays in place through tomorrow morning. So tomorrow will also be quite cold. Whatever you're wearing this morning, if you're comfortable in it, put it back on. If not, another few more layers because it's going to stick around for a bit. We're going to see a little bump up in our temperature by Thursday into Friday, and then we get another blast of even colder air. Take a look at this. So we're seeing blue shaded contours here for today. Notice how that warms up a little bit. We're going to see temperatures climbing back to near normal by Thursday. But just briefly, Thursday a front comes through, and that's going to unlock the Arctic air. Look at the difference in the color. So this is purple for us Saturday, Sunday, really Monday into Tuesday as well. So definitely the coldest air that we've seen all season arrives and sticks with us for a while. 52 is our normal high. So today we're about 10 degrees below that, but we're looking at temperatures near or below freezing for high temperatures on Saturday and Sunday. And that would put us near record high temperatures for those dates. 32 is our normal low. 19 is what we'll see for tomorrow morning. And then of course, very cold for the weekend as well. Let's take a look at our winter weather tracker. We're just fine. We've got the green light on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. But Saturday and Sunday, we have the red showing because it is likely that we're going to have a significant winter storm. It's even possible that we could see the impacts into Monday or Tuesday, depending on what we see. So a winter storm is likely. These are the things that we feel confident about right now. Maybe a long duration, starting sometime Saturday, lingering into Sunday, and even once the precipitation ends, we may have impacts all the way into early next week. There's the chance of some measurable snow. There's a chance of accumulating ice such that we could have widespread power outages. The track of the low pressure system that develops, of course, will have everything to do with what happens. So we're going to be talking types, timing, totals, and all of that over the next couple of days. Right now, the storm is still sitting over the ocean. Once it moves on shore, we'll be able to sample that storm a lot better, and it will help to really fine-tune that forecast. So stay with us.
Okay, Elizabeth, thank you. Before we go to break, here are the winning lottery numbers. Good luck, and we'll get another check on the weather and traffic next.